So we're going to come through a lower body warm-up, focusing a lot on the hips and the hip flexors. So to start with, we're going to come into hip cars. So we want to start with your left hip and the left shoulder against either the wall or a rig if you've got one. We're going to bring your right knee in towards the chest. Take your right knee out towards your right shoulder, and without moving the chest, the upper body stays as it is. We're going to try and lift the right foot all the way around. So you're opening up the hip flexor back towards your right shoulder and back in towards the chest. So we're going to try and do that 3 times. It doesn't matter if you can't get the knee as high or can't get the rotation to start, we're just building on it. And if you need to hold onto the rig or hold onto the wall, you can. Okay, so we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So right hip, right shoulder against the wall. So we're keeping the upper body nice and straight. Left knee in towards the chest, out towards the shoulder, all the way around and back in. And then another 3 times. Again, you can hold on if you need to. And one more time. And then lower. Okay, so we're going to start looking at the hip flexors. So we're going to come into a seated position. I'm going to work a little on hip flexor strength. So to start with, your feet want to be slightly wider than hip width apart. We're going to take one hand either side of your right leg. We can try and point the right foot so you're tensing your right leg. I want to try and pulse the leg 10 times. If that's not an option, you can slightly bend the knee so you're trying to lift the foot but still getting that hip flexor engaged. And then same on your left side. So one hand either side, we're going to try and pulse 10 times. And then when you're done your 10 on each side, we're going to take one hand either side of your right. We're going to try and lift and hold. So lift as high as you can for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then swap sides. So lift and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we're going to work a little bit more on the hips, but more on the rotation of the hips. So feet want to be slightly wider than hip width apart. If you can't keep the arms forward, you can drop the hands behind the back. But we're going to try and keep the feet where they are. We're going to drop both knees over towards your left side. Come back to center and then drop both knees over towards your right. So I'm going to try and do that 3 times. So drop the knees, doesn't matter how low. Back to center, again, option of dropping the hands. And then the last one, take your feet a little bit wider and then same again. Drop the knees, back to center and drop. So when you're back to center, we want to drop both knees over towards your left. And then we want to try and turn the body towards your left leg. We're bringing one hand either side of your left leg. But we're working on your right leg. So your right leg wants to come on a 90-degree angle. The foot wants to stay. I'm going to try and lift the right knee. Drop the knee. You can lean forward if you need to. But we're going to try and lift just the foot so the knee stays. Drop the foot. I'm going to try and lift the entire leg. Again, you can lean towards your left if you need to. And then lower. So I'm going to do that again. So lift the knee. Drop the knee, lift the foot. Drop the foot, try and lift the entire leg. And lower. And then keeping the legs as they are. If you're okay in that position, try and take the arms away. If not, you can either take the right hand away or just keep the hands on the floor. Keep the chest open. I want to try and lower the belly button over the knee. So you're keeping the chest open as we lower and then push back up. So I'm going to try and do it 3 times. Again, option of taking the hands away. On the last time, I'm going to try and hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, all the way back up, hands on the floor. We're going to try and straighten the left leg out. Again, it doesn't matter if it's not dead straight, just as straight as you can. If you're happy in that position, try and take the hands away. But we're going to try and lower the chest as low as you can over the left leg, push back up, and then try and lift just the knee. And again, lower the chest, push back up, just lift the knee, and one more time. Push back up and just lift the knee. And then drop the hands, bring your left leg in, and then same on the other side. So knees back to center. We're going to drop both knees over towards your right. One hand either side of your right leg, left leg on a 90-degree angle. Foot stays, try and lift the knee. Drop the knee, try and lift the foot, and then drop the foot, try and lift the entire leg, and then lower. And again, knee, drop the knee, try and lift the foot, drop the foot and lift the entire leg. Lower, either hold that position or arms away. We're going to try and lower the chest, so belly button over the knee, keep the back nice and straight, push back up. And again, option of taking the arms away. And then 3rd time, hold in that position for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Back to center, straighten the right leg out. So again, option of taking the arms away, we're going to try and lower the chest, push back up and lift the left knee 3 times. And if you need to keep the hands on the floor, exactly the same, but keeping the hands on the floor. And then walk the right leg back in and we're back to center. So we're going to look at a little bit of stretching out the hip flexor. So we're going to use a wall, or you can use the rig again, but just something, or a bench, anything to put your back foot on. So I'm going to use a wall. So we're going to try and bring your right foot up, right knee on the floor, and then we're going to try and push up. So the idea is not to arch the lower back. So we're trying to push the right hip forward. So you're tucking the tailbone under. We want to hold that position so shoulders are pushed down and back. I want to try and squeeze the right bum cheek. Hold for 5 seconds and then release for 5 seconds. So we're going to do that 3 times. So really try and squeeze the right bum cheek. So pushing the right hip forward and then release. And one more time and release. So from that position, the upper body doesn't move, so it stays nice and strong, but we want to try and sink slightly into that front leg. From that position, both arms overhead, the core stays nice and engaged, and we want to try and reach back towards the wall, so it's a slight push forward with the right hip, back to center, and again, try and push forward, back to center, and one more time. Back to center, and then we want to drop the hands on the inside of your left foot. We're going to try and walk your left foot forward slightly. So you're coming into your lunge. Take a step forward with the hands, so the hands want to stay in line with your left foot. Hold in that position. So we're going to try and drop the right hip towards the floor, look forward. I want to try and pull the right foot off the wall and then lower. So do that 3 times. Pull the right foot off the wall and lower. And then want to try and roll on the outside of your left foot and back to center. So 3 times outside of your left foot. So dropping the left knee out, back to center, and then last bit, left hand on top of the left knee. We're going to gently push your left knee out. Try and look over your left shoulder. As you inhale, we're taking your left arm up nice and high, and then as you exhale, we're trying to drop the left elbow as low to the floor as you can. Doesn't matter how low, just try and keep the upper body nice and heavy as you drop the chest. And then back onto your hands, and we're walking your left leg back. So exactly the same on the other side. So left foot up the wall. We're going to step your right foot forward. And then to start, try and push up. If that's too intense on the hip, just take a step forward with the knee. So the hip flexor isn't as stretched. Hands on the hips, try and tuck the tailbone under so the body stays nice and straight. And then hold in that position, we're going to try and squeeze the left bum cheek and relax 3 times. And then when you've done that, we're going to try and keep the upper body as it is. Sink slightly into that front leg, both arms overhead. So shoulders are down, we're going to try and reach back. So there's a slight push forward with the left hip and back to center. It doesn't matter if you can't reach the wall, just try not to arch the lower back. And then drop the hands, we're going to walk your right foot forward. So hands want to follow the foot. Try and look forward first, so you're dropping the left hip towards the floor and then try and pull the foot off the wall. So engaging the hamstring, but working on the hip flexor. And then roll on the outside of your right foot 3 times. After your third, right hand on top of the right knee, gently push the right knee out. So we're looking over your right shoulder. Right arm up nice and high, and then right elbow towards the floor 3 times. And one more time. Back up onto your hands, and then we're going to walk your right leg back. And then you're done with your lower body mobility.